The celebration in Seattle is still echoing after that historic Super Bowl victory over New England, but as an insider close to the Seahawks front office, I can tell you the atmosphere is shifting from joy to intense calculation. Winning it all has a price, and we are seeing it unfold right now. Some of our biggest stars are walking away for massive paydays, leaving gaping holes in a championship roster that need filling immediately. A shocking dream scenario has just surfaced that could change everything for our future. You won't believe how John Schneider plans to pivot. Kenneth Walker III is officially heading to the Kansas City Chiefs on a massive 3-year, $44 million deal. While it hurts to see a Super Bowl MVP leave, the reality of the salary cap in Seattle meant this was the inevitable consequence of success. Not only did we lose our star back, but Boy Mafe also cashed in, landing a $60 million contract with the Cincinnati Bengals. These are massive losses for a team trying to defend its title. However, Sports Illustrated analyst Gilberto Manzano has just dropped a bombshell dream scenario for the Seahawks. According to Manzano, Seattle has a clear path to replace both stars through the draft. The plan involves snagging UCF edge rusher Malachi Lawrence and then turning around to grab Notre Dame's powerhouse running back, Jadarian Price. Replacing a player of Walker's caliber is no small feat, but the organization believes that these specific prospects fit the culture Mike Macdonald is building. The departure of Walker leaves a void of explosiveness and playmaking that defined our championship run. Meanwhile, Mafe's exit leaves the pass rush looking thin. This isn't just about finding bodies, it's about finding the right DNA to keep this window open. Lawrence is viewed as a developmental gem who could thrive under Macdonald's defensive schemes, while Price represents the physical, downhill running style that Seattle has historically loved. The news of these targets has sent shockwaves through the fan base because it signals that the front office isn't just going to sit back and lick their wounds. They are actively looking to reload with younger, cheaper talent that carries elite upside. We knew the championship hangover would bring tough decisions, but nobody expected the replacement plan to be this aggressive or this specific. As we look at the board, the draft has become the most critical moment for this franchise since the 2012 class that built the Legion of Boom. The stakes couldn't be higher because if we miss on these replacements, the Super Bowl win might be a lonely peak rather than the start of a dynasty. Everyone in the building is focused on how to make this scenario a reality. The transition from Walker to a new lead back is the top priority for the offensive staff right now. We are witnessing the first major test of the post-championship era for this front office. Jadarian Price is the name that everyone needs to keep an eye on as we approach the draft. If Seattle manages to land him, the impact on the depth chart will be immediate and profound. Price isn't just a backup. He's a thumper who can break tackles at a high rate, which is exactly what this offense needs to maintain its physical identity without Walker. Adding a player like Price allows the Seahawks to keep their balanced attack, keeping the pressure off the passing game and allowing the offensive line to play to their strengths. When you look at the system fit, Price is a natural for the zone blocking schemes we like to run. He has the vision to find the cutback lanes and the power to finish runs in the fourth quarter. Strategically, this allows Seattle to allocate their remaining cap space to other areas, like the secondary or offensive line depth, rather than overpaying for a veteran running back in free agency. The ripple effect of drafting Price would be felt across the entire roster. It would signify a commitment to a young, explosive offense that doesn't skip a beat despite losing a superstar. Furthermore, having a back with Price's skill set provides a security blanket for the coaching staff. He is a high-volume carrier who has shown at Notre Dame that he can handle the heavy lifting. The season outlook changes from rebuilding the backfield to reloading the weapon system. If Price is the guy, the transition period for the offense will be much shorter than critics anticipate. He brings a level of toughness that resonates in the locker room. Defensive coordinators in the NFC West would have to respect the run game just as much as they did when Walker was in the backfield. This strategic move is about maintaining the philosophy that won us the Lombardi Trophy. It's about not flinching when stars leave. By focusing on Price, John Schneider is looking to replicate the success of finding mid-round gems that become cornerstones. The depth chart would stabilize, and the competition in camp would reach a fever pitch. Every scout I've talked to says Price has the traits of a three-down back in this league. If he lands in Seattle, the narrative around this team's departure of free agents will shift from loss to opportunity very quickly indeed. Malachi Lawrence and Jadarian Price both bring unique resumes to the table that make them ideal for the Seahawks' current situation. Lawrence, coming out of UCF, has seen his stock skyrocket after a dominant performance at the NFL Scouting Combine. He isn't just a fast edge rusher. He's an athlete with the bend and closing speed that Mike McDonald craves for his creative blitz packages. His stats at UCF reflect a player who was constantly in the backfield, disrupting timing and forcing turnovers. On the other side of the ball, Price's career at Notre Dame was marked by efficiency and explosive special teams play. Averaging 6 yards per attempt and racking up 21 rushing touchdowns is no fluke. Even while playing behind other talented backs, Price made every touch count. His ability to return kicks, evidenced by his 3 career touchdowns in that department, adds a layer of value that John Schneider absolutely loves. He's a versatile weapon. Looking at the career trajectories, both players are on an upward swing. Lawrence is the type of player who might have been a second-rounder a few months ago, but is now firmly in the late first-round conversation, potentially right where Seattle picks at 32. Price is expected to be a high second-round selection. The strengths here are obvious. Lawrence provides the raw pass rushing upside, while Price provides the physical reliability and special teams spark. Weaknesses are few, though Lawrence will need to add some bulk to hold up against NFL-sized tackles in the run game. Price will need to adjust to the speed of NFL linebackers filling gaps. However, their situations at their respective colleges prepared them for high-pressure environments. Price is a proven tackle breaker, a metric that translates very well to the pro level. The importance of this news cannot be overstated. We are talking about the foundation of the next 3 to 5 years. If these two players are the haul, Seattle effectively replaces the production of $200 million players for a fraction of the cost. The data shows that Price's contact balance is among the best in this draft class. Lawrence's first step is elite. These are the building blocks of a sustainable winner. When you analyze the tape, you see players who play with the Hawk mentality. It's a match made in heaven for our current roster needs and future goals. The dream scenario sounds perfect on paper, but the path to executing it is fraught with tension and risk. The best-case scenario is that Lawrence falls to 32, and Price is available for a trade-up in the second round, giving us a brand-new core of young stars. But the worst-case scenario is much darker. What if Lawrence's combined performance vaults him into the top 20? What if a team like the Cowboys or Giants snatches Price before we can move up? The pressure on John Schneider is immense. We've seen him get aggressive before, like when he traded up for Nick Emenwari, but the draft is a volatile beast. If we stay patient and lose out on both, we head into the season with massive holes at Eddie G.A. and running back. That is a recipe for a Super Bowl hangover that could derail the entire year. Can the Seahawks afford to be passive? History says no. The emotional stakes are high for the fans who are still mourning the loss of Walker and Mafe. There's a fear that the championship window might be closing faster than we thought. If Schneider pulls this off, he's a genius. If he fails and the run game disappears, the heat will be on the entire front office. How much are we willing to sacrifice to move up for Price? Giving up future assets is a gamble that could haunt us if the injuries pile up. This situation raises serious questions about the team's identity. Are we a team that builds through development, or are we now in a position where we have to force the issue to stay relevant? The tension in the draft room will be palpable. Every pick before 32 will feel like a heartbeat. The opportunity is there to secure the future, but the risk of coming away empty-handed is real. We are at a crossroads where 1 or 2 picks could define the McDonald era. The fans are divided on whether to stay put or burn picks to get their guy. This kind of uncertainty is what makes the NFL draft the ultimate drama. We are all waiting to see if the dream becomes a reality or a missed opportunity that marks the end of our reign at the top. The clock is ticking, and the decisions made in those few minutes will resonate for years. The Seahawks are standing at a massive turning point, and while losing Kenneth Walker III feels like a punch to the gut, the vision for the future is starting to crystallize. John Schneider has shown us time and again that he isn't afraid to make the bold move to keep this team in contention. This dream scenario involving Malachi Lawrence and Jadarian Price isn't just a fantasy. It's a strategic roadmap to staying at the top of the NFL mountain. We are an organization built on grit and finding the players that others overlook. If we can land these two, the league should be on notice that the Seahawks aren't going anywhere. But I want to hear from you, the 12s. Do you think we should trade up to ensure we get Jadarian Price, or is the risk of losing future picks too high? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, we are so close to our goal. Please help us hit 500 subscribers by clicking that subscribe button and hitting the like button if you enjoyed this deep dive. Turn on those notifications so you never miss an insider update. Let's keep this community growing. Go Hawks!